What if the last hope for humanity rested in a single book? What if in a world burned to ash by nuclear war, one man had to walk across a wasteland for 30 years? Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Screen, where we break down the most gripping and powerful movies in just minutes. Today, we're diving into The Book of Eli, 2010, a post-apocalyptic action thriller where faith, survival, and destiny collide. It follows Eli, a lone traveler on a mission he doesn't fully understand. Guided by a mysterious voice, carrying a book that could rebuild civilization, he must survive brutal gangs, a ruthless town leader, and the harsh wasteland itself, all while never letting the book fall into the wrong hands. But why is this book so important? And how can one man, seemingly protected by something greater than himself, make it all the way west, when the entire world wants what he's carrying? Let's break down The Book of Eli, step by step. And if you're new here, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our recaps. Let's get into The Book of Eli. The film begins by showing us a world completely devastated by a nuclear war. In this barren wasteland, we see a mutated cat being hunted by an individual. This person, who turns out to be the protagonist of the story, Eli, captures the cat and begins his journey. As Eli continues his journey, he comes across an abandoned vehicle. Stopping to inspect it, he searches for anything that might be of use. Moving forward, as night falls, Eli decides to take shelter in a deserted house. Exploring the house, he notices a foul smell coming from one of the rooms. Upon investigating, he discovers the decomposed body of a person inside. Searching the body for anything useful, Eli removes the man's shoes, puts them on, and uses the captured cat as food to sustain himself. During this time, Eli listens to music on an old iPod he carries with him. While cooking the meat, the smell attracts a stray mouse to the location. Showing a rare moment of kindness, Eli shares a piece of the meat with the mouse. Afterward, he cleans his weapons, tidies himself up, and reads from a book he carries. Still listening to music on his iPod, Eli eventually falls asleep, ready to continue his journey the next day. The next morning, Eli wakes up to realize that his iPod's battery is dead. Determined to continue his journey, he sets off once again. While traveling, he comes across a blind woman lying on the road, seemingly in need of help. As Eli approaches to assist her, he quickly realizes it's a trap. A group of bandits emerges from hiding, demanding his belongings. Refusing to comply, Eli cuts off the leader's hand in a swift move, prompting the rest of the gang to attack him. Eli fights back ferociously, ultimately killing all of them. After gathering anything useful from their bodies, Eli inspects the blind woman's water bottle, only to find it unfit for drinking. He resumes his journey. Along the way, Eli witnesses a gang on bikes ambushing and killing a traveling couple, stealing their books and belongings. However, Eli decides not to intervene and hides, silently observing the gruesome scene. Continuing his journey, Eli passes through an area of a nuclear explosion before arriving at a post-apocalyptic town. His primary goal here is to recharge the battery of his iPod. He makes his way to a shop owned by an engineer. Inside, the engineer threatens Eli with his own weapon. Calmly, Eli disarms the engineer in one swift motion, explaining he's just a customer, and then hands the weapon back. Eli shows the engineer his battery and requests to have the battery charged. The engineer demands payment, so Eli offers a lighter and a few other items from his belongings. With the exchange settled, the process of recharging the battery begins. While the engineer charges Eli's battery, Eli heads to a nearby bar to get some water. Meanwhile, the gang on bikes arrives in the town and meets with the town leader, Bill. Although the gang cannot read, they present the books they've collected, as per Bill's orders. However, Bill declares that the book he's searching for isn't among them. When Martz, the gang leader, hands over something else they found, Bill realizes it's a bottle of shampoo. Delighted by this small luxury, Bill sends the gang out again, instructing them to continue searching for more books. Later, Bill goes to his blind wife, Claudia, and uses the newly discovered shampoo to wash her hair. At the bar, Eli asks for water. When told he needs to pay, he offers a pair of gloves in exchange. As the bartender accepts, a stray cat approaches Eli, but he pushes it away. Satisfied with the payment, the bartender instructs Solara, one of the workers, fill Eli's bottle with clean water. As Solara goes to fetch the water, Redridge, one of Bill's men, approaches her with flirtatious intentions, but she avoids him and continues her task. Back in the bar, Martz confronts Eli over his treatment of the cat, attempting to start a fight. Eli swiftly slams Martz's head onto a nearby table, delivering a severe warning. Martz tries to recover, but dies from the blow, prompting the rest of the gang to attack Eli. In the ensuing violent fight, Eli emerges victorious, killing all the gang members without sustaining any injuries, as if protected by divine intervention. Hearing the commotion, Redridge arrives and prepares to shoot Eli. However, Bill stops him, choosing instead to speak with Eli. During their conversation, Bill learns that Eli possesses a book. Intrigued, Bill invites Eli to join his group, but Eli refuses. As Eli prepares to leave, Bill offers him a place to stay for the night, which Eli accepts. That evening, Bill and his group prepare a room for Eli. Claudia brings him food and water. During their interaction, Eli asks her if she lost her eyesight because of the war or due to exposure to sunlight. Claudia replies that she was born blind, then quietly leaves the room. A little while later, as Eli is reading his book, Solara tries to enter his room. Reacting quickly, Eli hides the book in the bed. When Solara steps inside, Eli learns from her that Bill sent her there to entertain him. Although Eli initially tries to send Solara away, she pleads, saying, "If I go back, Bill will hurt my mother." Moved by her words, Eli allows her to stay in the room. While they talk, Solara notices the hidden book. When she tries to take a closer look, Eli quickly retrieves it, places it in his bag, and locks it away. Curious, Solara asks about the book, but Eli remains silent, refusing to tell her anything. Sensing her discomfort, Eli invites Solara to share a meal with him. Before eating, Eli takes Solara's hands and prays, thanking God for the food. Together, they begin their meal. The next morning, Solara joins her mother, Claudia, for breakfast. To Claudia's surprise, Solara mimics Eli's prayer, inviting her mother to join hands and give thanks to God before eating. Bill, who happens to be nearby, notices this unusual act and realizes that Solara must have learned it from Eli. Intrigued, Bill questions Solara about what kind of book Eli possesses. When Solara refuses to answer, Bill becomes enraged and starts torturing Claudia. In desperation, Solara reveals that the book has a cross symbol on its cover. Realizing the book is a Bible, Bill becomes determined to obtain it. Bill and Redridge head to Eli's room, but they find it empty. Furious, Redridge kills the guard stationed at the door. By this time, Eli has already taken his recharged battery and is preparing to leave the town. Before he can escape, Bill and his gang surround him, demanding the Bible. At this point, Eli asks Bill why he wants the book so badly. Bill explains that he grew up with the Bible and knows the power of its words. He believes that its teachings can unite humanity once again, restoring order to a fractured world. Bill also reveals that after the war, most copies of the Bible were burned and destroyed. Despite Bill's reasoning, Eli refuses to hand over the book and attempts to walk away. Enraged, Bill orders Redridge to shoot Eli. Redridge fires directly at Eli, but miraculously, none of the bullets hit him, as though a divine force is protecting him. Realizing their efforts are failing, Eli retaliates, opening fire on Bill's gang. During the intense gunfight, Bill is severely injured when a bullet strikes his leg. As the shooting subsides, Eli takes the opportunity to escape and resumes his journey. Later, Solara catches up to Eli, expressing her desire to join him on his journey. However, Eli is reluctant to let her come. Solara then offers to guide him to a nearby spring where he can refill his water supply. Agreeing to her proposal, Eli accompanies Solara to the spring, where he refills his bottles. As they prepare to leave, Eli locks Solara inside and continues on alone. Meanwhile, back in the town, Bill tends to his wounded leg and organizes another group, armed with vehicles, to pursue Eli. Elsewhere, Solara manages to break free and ventures out, determined to find Eli. Along the way, she encounters the blind woman Eli had previously met, who is now in distress and pleading for assistance. When Solara tries to help her, two men emerge from hiding and attempt to assault her. At that moment, Eli arrives and kills the two men, rescuing Solara. With Solara now by his side, Eli allows her to join him, and they continue their journey together. Along the way, they hunt a bird to prepare for their evening meal. Meanwhile, Bill and his group discover the bodies of the men killed by Eli. As they investigate the area, they realize that Solara is traveling with Eli. That night, Eli and Solara find a place to rest. After finishing their meal, Eli reads from the Bible as usual, then carefully puts it back in his bag. When Solara asks where he is headed, Eli explains that a voice in his mind told him to take the book and head west, promising that the book would be safe there. He shares that the voice assured him he would be protected from any harm during his journey. Eli reveals that he has been walking westward for 30 years, following that guidance. Solara listens intently before they both go to sleep. While Eli sleeps, Solara wakes quietly and tries to open his bag to take the book. However, Eli wakes up and sternly tells her to go back to sleep. He then secures the book back in his bag. Solara, still curious, asks Eli to teach her how to read. The next morning, Eli and Solara continue their journey. Meanwhile, Bill and his group, tracking Eli's route, arrive at the place where Eli and Solara had camped. However, by the time they get there, the two have already left. As they travel further, Eli and Solara come across an old house that looks like someone might still live there. When they attempt to open the door, they fall into a trap set by the house's occupants. An elderly couple, George and Martha, emerge and question Eli and Solara about why they are there. The two explain that they were looking for water. Understanding their need, Martha invites them in for tea. As they talk and drink tea, George casually shows them a pit where he and Martha have buried the bodies of people who had come to harm them. Eli and Solara quickly realize that George and Martha are cannibals. Horrified, they prepare to leave the house. Before they can escape, Bill and his group arrive and surround the house. Bill demands that Eli and Solara surrender and come outside, but they refuse. A fierce gunfight breaks out between Bill's gang and those inside the house. During the chaos, several members of Bill's group, as well as George and Martha, are killed. Eventually, Bill and his group manage to capture both Eli and Solara. Bill demands that Eli reveal the location of the book, but Eli remains silent. Frustrated, Bill threatens to shoot Solara in the head if Eli doesn't comply. Left with no choice, Eli reluctantly tells them that the book is hidden inside the house. Bill and his men retrieve the Bible, and Bill shoots Eli. As Eli collapses in pain from the gunshot wound, Bill mockingly tells him, "Where's your protection now? Pray for me instead." Bill then leaves with Solara, taking the book with him. While traveling, Solara is forced into a vehicle driven by one of Bill's men. Acting quickly, she uses a piece of cloth to strangle the driver, causing the vehicle to crash. So during this part, a knife inside the car stabs Redridge, and he ends up dying. Bill and the rest of his gang, following in two other vehicles, stop and return to the overturned car. Seeing Solara emerge from the wreckage, she grabs a grenade from the vehicle and throws it toward the oncoming cars. One of the vehicles is destroyed in the explosion, but Bill's vehicle narrowly escapes unharmed. Solara then climbs into the wrecked car and begins her journey to find Eli again. Solara eventually returns to the house where Bill shot Eli, but Eli is nowhere to be seen. Determined, she continues westward in search of him. Along the way, she finds Eli, severely injured but still alive, struggling to walk. She helps him into a vehicle, and the two continue their journey westward. As they travel, Solara tends to Eli's wounds and questions him, asking why he gave the book to Bill when it clearly meant so much to him. Eli replies, "It's more important to work for others than just for yourself." As Eli and Solara continue their journey westward, they come across the Golden Gate Bridge. Solara halts the vehicle abruptly, realizing they cannot proceed further because a portion of the bridge has been destroyed. Meanwhile, we see Bill attempting to open the Bible he took from Eli, but he is unable to do so because Eli had locked it. Back in the city, Bill hands the Bible to an engineer to unlock it. Meanwhile, Eli and Solara spot a distant island with a large building and decide to head there using a boat. Upon reaching the island, the guards confront them, asking why they've come. Eli informs them that they have a King James Bible. At the same time, the engineer successfully unlocks the Bible, and Bill eagerly opens it. To his shock, he discovers the Bible is written in Braille, a system of writing for the blind. Realizing this, Bill asks Claudia if she can read it, but she regretfully admits that she has forgotten how to read Braille after not using it for so long. With all but one of Bill's men dead and his power over the townspeople dwindling, Bill is left helpless as the townsfolk ransack his home. All Bill can do now is watch as he loses control. On the island, Eli and Solara are guided into the building, which is revealed to be a sort of museum. Their guide explains that the building is a sanctuary for preserving the works of great authors and thinkers, though a Bible had been missing from their collection until now. Although Eli no longer has the physical Bible, he has read and memorized it over the 30 years it was in his possession. Eli begins reciting the entire Bible from memory, and the guide carefully transcribes every word onto paper. Eventually, the transcribed Bible is printed and added to the museum's collection. Shortly afterward, Eli succumbs to his injuries and passes away. After Eli's death, Solara collects his belongings, including his iPod and other items he used during his journey, and departs from the island. She heads back to her town, ready to start a new chapter in her life. The movie concludes with a scene showing the printed Bible placed alongside other religious texts in the museum, symbolizing the preservation of knowledge and faith for future generations. And that's the story. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss the next movie breakdown. Got a favorite film you want us to cover next? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one on Real Screen.